And we got a super panel tonight to debate 377. We take a clear position on this. The Newshour believes that we need to strike down 377. We make a disclosure of our position on the subject. Strike down 377 is the hashtag. 1,105 tweets even before we begin the debate. And I welcome Manoj Bajpai, award-winning actor, who plays the role of Professor Siras in the new film called Aligarh, the professor who faced persecution and fought against it. Manoj Bajpai, welcome. With him tonight is Hansal Mehta, director and writer. Thank you very much, Hansal ji. Good to see you on the program. You're picking up causes that need to be debated tonight. Ashok Row Kavi, member and founder of the Humsafar Trust. Laxmi Tripathi, one of India's most prominent LGBT activists. She doesn't pull her punches on this one, and she shouldn't tonight. Malvika Rajkotia, senior advocate and human rights activist, live from Delhi, taking on Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party, the party whose leader says that occasionally, rapists can be pardoned. That's what he had said in the context of rape. Mulayam Singh Yadav said that, takes a position against 377 tonight. How hypocritical Father Stanley Kozhichira, who's spokesperson of the Archdiocese of Delhi. Rahul Easwar, social activist from the Humsafar Trust. Let's be tolerant towards each other. At the start of the debate, that expression was not required or warranted. And M R Venkatesh, he's a chartered accountant, policy analyst, leans towards the BJP. I don't know which side he leans on this one. Thank you very much. Should we start the debate? Okay. I'd like to start the debate by asking Laxmi Tripathi to tell us why she thinks what happened today was historic.
Of course it is historic, because again the democracy of this country prevails. Judiciary, one of the strongest pillars of democracy, has said that the 5-bench constitutional judge will listen to it. Morality, because my constitution was never built on any morality, on any religious book.
Yeah.
I ask for my constitutional rights. I ask for my human rights. I ask my rights as an Indian, even if I'm the last hijra or transgender or a gay or a lesbian person. Nobody's morality nor religion shouldn't stand in giving me my constitutional rights. And today is the celebration of that rights, which the Supreme Court, because once Supreme Court had said the Parliament has to decide, and again the Parliament made a mockery of its own self in the Parliament House when Shashi Tharoor introduced the bill, because personal attacks were made on that poor man. But now the Supreme Court again stood strong for us.
Okay, the 377 referred to a 5-judge bench. Let's take the other side tonight. And I want to start, let's pick up on the other side. Gaurav Bhatia, if there are any legal arguments tonight, you can forget them once and for all, because 377, okay, Rahul Easwar, I see your hand go up. Rahul Easwar, what validity?
Can I come in?
Okay,
Arnab, I will come in.
Okay, Gaurav presents the legal argument tonight. Are you feeling a little defeated tonight? Are you feeling a little defeated tonight?
First of all,
you are looking disappointed tonight, Rahul. Gaurav Bhatia. Yeah.
Why should we feel disappointed when I think that it is the right curative petition that was filed? It is very rare that the apex court decides to hear a curative petition, and it would be heard in open court now by 5 judges, and it's a question of personal liberty which is guaranteed under Article 21. Therefore, I feel that it is the right thing to do. It should be heard, and Article 370, Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, which is enacted in 1860, is an archaic and regressive law, and it should be struck down because it is violative of the right.
Or changing his position on the program. Congratulations.
I am not changing.
You're changing your position on the program.
I stand with this position.
Yeah, you do.
I stand with this position, and I think every person, whether citizen or not, has been guaranteed right to liberty and life under Article 21.
And what do you think of people?
Against those persons.
What do you think of people? One second, Gaurav, listen, don't get into speech mode tonight. Don't get into speech mode, Gaurav. Let's get into answer mode, not speech mode. Okay, so Gaurav, what do you think? What do you think of people? What do you think of people who say that homosexuality is against the culture of this country? What do you think of people who say homosexuality is against the culture of this? What would you say to those people tonight?
India India is a vibrant democracy because everyone has the right to express themselves. But at the same time, what should be the law, whether it is violative of the constitution, is decided by the apex court of the country.
What do you think of people who say homosexuality is against the culture of this country? Take a position on it tonight. Don't dodge tonight. What do you think of such people?
I am taking a position.
What do you think of such people?
I am taking a position that they are entitled to their opinion, but it is the apex court which decides whether
dodging again.
Section 3
dodging again. Is he dodging? Is he dodging?
Dodging.
He's dodging tonight. He's dodging, and I'll tell you why he's dodging. You're dodging. 1 second. Don't dodge. I said don't dodge, and I'll tell you why you're dodging. You're dodging tonight. Gaurav, 1 second. I'll tell you why you're dodging. Ashok Row Kavi feels you're dodging. I feel you're dodging. Laxmi Tripathi feels you're dodging. Millions of viewers watching the Newshour tonight will feel you're dodging, and I'll tell you why you're dodging. I'll tell you why you're dodging.
Also entitled to his.
I'll tell you why you're dodging.
I might disagree with him.
I'll tell you why you're dodging, Mr. Bhatia. I'll tell you why you're dodging. You are dodging. You are dodging. You are dodging, Mr. You know something? As they say, you can't run with the hare and hunt with the hound. So, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, you're dodging tonight.
Arnab, you are forgetting I'm a lawyer also. I practice in the Supreme Court. And one Bible or one Gita that I follow is the Constitution of India.
Okay, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia,
speaking on your program,
don't protest too much. There are other panelists.
The fundamental
Mr. Bhatia, your leader Ram Gopal Yadav came out and labelled homosexuality as unethical and immoral against the culture of this country. I was quoting him to you. What action will you take against people who are hypocrites like Ram Gopal Yadav? That's why you're dodging tonight. And why do you, any other reason you feel politicians are dodging tonight? Ashok Row Kavi. Ashok Row Kavi. Ashok Row Kavi.
He's thrown, politicians are dodging.
No, Ashok, go ahead.
Yeah, politicians are dodging because they don't want to take a stand. There's misogyny, there's no idea about sex, sexuality and gender. There's no education at all about the culture of this country. And I don't know why you keep on throwing it and now suddenly into the courts.
Democracy.
What?
In a true democracy, every individual is entitled to express. But every individual is not.
Not at the cost of a minority, and you want to label us as criminals.
It has taken us 20 years to bring this case to this stage. You're telling me about our rights and all? For so many years we've just been beaten up and extorted and blackmailed, and that time you people didn't say anything.
The significance of this debate, the significance.
I am saying it is a fundamental right.
1 second, fundamental right. What fundamental right?
One thing I'll ask you, sir, if with your permission.
Yeah, go ahead. You ask the question. M R Venkatesh, Rahul Easwar will reply. Rahul Easwar will reply to the question put by Laxmi Tripathi. 1 minute, please. Yes, Rahul Easwar, listen carefully.
One of my chelas was raped much more brutally than even Nirbhaya, and I could not even file a case. Then what kind of a society one wants to go? Now Rahul Easwar would come up and say, the scientific community, I don't know where your sciences come from. My science comes from WHO and from all the best agencies. Then you will give morality. But I love Rahul Easwar saying even that he doesn't want us to go to the jail. You know, he's in total agreement with now previous in different channel where I was. You know, one thing, Rahul or anybody.
I want to hear.
I don't want sympathy.
Yeah.
I only want our rights, and we really welcome the Supreme Court.
Perfect, fair enough.
Yes, Rahul Easwar will reply. Rahul Easwar.
Arnab ji, the right of sender position has been consistent. It is a matter for Parliament to decide, not judicial activism.
Parliament has the guts to decide. The Parliament never had the guts to decide this.
Donald Trump,
because sex has always been taken as a
Ted Cruz.
Parliament does not
at least put forward the argument.
The Constitution.
Let me put forward the argument first.
What is the argument?
Let me put forward the argument. Please listen to it and counter. Even world over, the oldest democracy, even in US, the entire Republican establishment is vouching for this position. Our position is very limited. Let Parliament decide. Let social acceptance come first. Then we would try for legal acceptance. We would place social acceptance on a higher pedestal than the legal acceptance. So it is for Parliament to take the call and not judicial activism.
The girl child is killed in her womb. Till now the social acceptance hasn't happened. But still the girl has its rights.
These are old repeated
domestic violence rights for even women.
These are very old repeated cliches from the 70s and 80s. Please try new arguments.
No. One second. We argue on the basis of fact tonight. We argue on the basis of fact tonight. And Malvika Rajkotia and M R Venkatesh will debate. And I haven't even called Manoj Bajpai and Hansal Mehta. I will just get you into the debate. By the way, I'm not calling out people by turn, but I'm trying to get everyone to make their initial comments and then we go into open debate. Throwing 377 up to debate, M R Venkatesh and Malvika Rajkotia is significant because this legislation has to be brought in line with our constitution. Our constitution was introduced in this country 68 years back. It protects everyone with unconditional equality under Article 14, under Article 15, under Article 21, which is protection of life and personal liberty. And these words are embedded in our preamble. So no higher constitution bench, unless it is unfair, can think otherwise on the subject. This is about implementing the constitution that we gave ourselves, M R Venkatesh, not of a time when slavery was still legal in America. You can say today slavery was once legal in America. This law 377 existed, so that I give you a sense of history tonight, before the Wright brothers piloted the first airplane. This law was brought in. It's an anachronism because it was brought in when penicillin was not discovered on this planet. We have homophobes tonight, M R Venkatesh, and I truly believe that you're not one of them. We have homophobes tonight who say, let this stay. This is our tradition. No, I'm just saying, I hope you're not a homophobe tonight on this debate. You're a realist tonight. You're a pragmatist. And you show at least one iota of liberalism in the course of this debate tonight. Yes. Mr. Venkatesh, please. And Malvika will respond. Go on.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Arnab, as far as I am concerned, what two consulting adults do in the bedroom is none of the state's business. It is the privacy of a particular individual which is paramount, and the state or the constitution has not given any babu to interfere in what two consulting adults do. And that is the spirit of Article 21. And if you read the Maneka Gandhi judgment right through the length and breadth of it, the Supreme Court has dealt on it exhaustively what constitutes liberty. And I think we should leave it at that. As far as Section 377 is concerned, you're right, the word is anachronistic. It is of the 1860 vintage. 150 years have passed by, too much of events have overflown us. There is no place for morality, no place for past prejudices, no place for various types of your own likes and dislikes. As far as it is concerned, it must be struck down by the courts. But today what has happened is the Supreme Court has agreed that it will look into the curative petition. We will have to wait for the judgment. And
you are either being cagey or you are changing your position.
This is a valid law.
No, one sec. You are either being cagey or you are changing your position.
I'm not changing at all.
Can't we wait for the Parliament to decide?
Don't shoot off Parliament's shoulders.
I'm a realist.
Don't shoot. I am also a realist to M R Venkatesh. So don't shoot off the shoulders of Parliament because you know Parliament will do nothing about it. No. Parliament will do nothing about it because Parliament will do nothing about it.
We have to put pressure.
This is not in the domain of Parliament.
We are going to agree on Supreme Court. We are going to agree on the Supreme Court being supreme.
Yes, I do believe the Supreme Court is supreme. And Mr. Venkatesh, I'm sorry, but thank God for the judiciary. Thank God for the judiciary. Because had it not been for the judiciary... No, 1 second, Gaurav, 1 second. 1 second, please. Thank God for the judiciary because MR and Malvika will respond.
Today is not the end of the world.
1 second. Today is not the end of the world. Today the door has been thrown open for equality for millions of LGBTs in our country. And somewhere I believe that Mr. Venkatesh, you and Rahul Easwar and Gaurav Bhatia are feeling a little threatened. you are feeling threatened by the pace of social change.
Why are you, Arnab? Why are you?
You are being threatened.
I don't understand.
No, Arnab. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do with the stand of Gaurav Bhatia or Rahul Easwar. I am making it very clear.
Both of you, not both.
Why are you afraid of a parliamentary debate?
Consulting
one second. Gaurav.
No, I am not at all.
Gaurav, you know what's happening here right now? No, Gaurav, listen. Gaurav, listen.
I request you, Arnab, don't misquote me.
Okay, Gaurav, nobody is misquoting you. It's a live program. Nobody can misquote you.
Why can't Parliament debates?
Rahul, listen here. Rahul, can I have silence on this panel for just 30 seconds? 30 seconds, I want to say something.
Very clear.
Okay.
That section 377.
If Parliament can strike it down, nothing like
it. I can't speak when all of you are speaking together.
Article 21
I just want 30 seconds, please, to make my point. Point number one, politicians will never do anything about 377. They feel the majority view of this country is for 377. They are so wrong. Point number two, today is not just the first step. Today, the Supreme Court, Malvika, could have referred the case, could have dismissed the case. The Supreme Court instead refers the case to a larger bench. By referring the case to a larger bench, I think what they are saying now, Gaurav, don't interrupt me here. The judiciary is saying that it has the full intent of deciding through revisiting the huge issue of constitutional importance. So don't downplay what happened today. Malvika, please.
Right. See, the High Court judgment, the Delhi High Court judgment, was basically premised on the issue of inclusiveness. That as a culture, we are an inclusive culture, and that minority, however small, must not be neglected or deprived from a legitimate social space. That was basically the approach of the High Court. We are not at this stage arguing that it's intercourse against the course of nature. I think even Mr. Easwaran or Gaurav or nobody can say that it's against the course of nature. It's a minority. I don't know. I'm not even sure about that. But the fact of the matter is that it is a question of, it is premised on the argument of inclusiveness, which is an argument that any minority wants to adopt in this country. That's number one. Number two is, it must be remembered that those who say it is against Indian culture should remember that this is an English import. Prior to the 19th century, we had no such law. And the traditional Hindu culture, or as law delivered by the Qazis and the Pandits and however the Maulvis, etc., we have no, we don't know. I mean, those who have studied in depth the issue of gay rights and its existence in traditional Indian culture will actually, research has shown that it existed, it was accepted. This was a Victorian Puritanism which brought in from English law, imported here. They have done away with it, but we have retained it. And now we want to say that it is against our Indian culture when we are constantly fighting about everything else. We are constantly fighting about everything else that is wrong and westernized and so on.
No, this is Rahul Easwar's version of Indian. This is one sec. This is Rahul Easwar's definition of Indianness. Even Father Stanley knows. Even Father Stanley knows, and let's get Manoj Bajpai, let's get Hansal into the debate. We'll open up. We have time. Rahul Easwar, don't get worked up. Even Father Stanley knows that in Christianity, there are references to eunuchs. In Christianity, there is nothing. In your religion, Father Stanley, I can quote to you para, chapter and verse of what is written in the Bible.
No. There are references to eunuchs in the Bible.
Yes.
Bible also has a reference of the Sodom. I don't know whether you know about it. There is something called Sodom and Gomorrah in Bible, where Sodom had the homosexuality was so rampant, and God destroys the Sodom and Gomorrah two cities. It's a Bible. So Bible says a whole thing about human life.
Father,
okay, watch. Understand that point of view.
No, fine.
I and the Church, Catholic Church, 1.2 billion Catholics in the world are not lawmakers for this country.
Thank God.
Let the lawmakers of this country make laws, whatever it is want, and the church is completely against branding anybody. And we, the Catholics, celebrate this year as the year of mercy, and the Holy Father Pope Francis has
take religion out of it.
Clearly said that we are not.
Take religion out of it.
We are nobody.
No, take religion out of it.
No, but the Holy Father himself said, "Who am I to judge?"
Watch. Just Father, listen. Father here now. Father Stanley, listen to it. Father Stanley, listen to Laxmi.
Father, 2013 in July or June. I don't remember the date. The Holy Father himself. 1 minute, listen to me.
Right. He has said very clearly, I am no one to come between God and people. I am not supposed to judge. I will look at them as God looks at them.
Yes.
So
the God says.
So the God
listen. Father Stanley, listen. Father Stanley, listen.
People who have
let him listen first. One second. Just a minute. Ashok Row Kavi. Ashok Row Kavi. Wait a minute. Father Stanley, listen. Listen, don't get worked up. Father Stanley, we are on the cusp of a social revolution, in case you haven't noticed. I just want to say one thing to you, and then you will have to hear. You then have to hear Laxmi Tripathi, who will tell you a thing or two about your own religion. Father Stanley, no, I'm talking to Father Stanley at this time, please. And Gaurav, please don't intervene right now. Pope Francis, Father Stanley, in 2013 said that if someone is gay, he said, if someone is gay and searches for the Lord and has the goodwill of the Lord, who am I to judge? Now, what was that? That was a historic moment when the entire, don't stop me, sir. Don't stop me, sir. When the entire Catholic Church and the entire Catholic community was made to reassess its terrible rigidity on homosexuality. On September 30th, Pope Francis said that God does not condemn LGBT individuals. So please do not throw religion at us tonight. And in case you are throwing religion, Laxmi will read out a passage from the Bible to you right now. Laxmi will read out to you from the Bible now, please. 1 second. Father, listen. Laxmi Tripathi is quoting something and you need to listen to her.
Isa 56:3-5. Neither let the son of the stranger that had joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord had utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saying the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that pleases me, and take hold of my convent. 5. Even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off.
Father Francis said, I am no one to judge anybody.
No, you change. You have presented. This debate is interesting tonight. Now let's get Manoj and Hansal into the debate. Let's get Manoj and Hansal into the debate, and we have heard terrible comments. Okay, Father Stanley. Okay, Father Stanley. Now, 1 second. Manoj Bajpai, their upcoming film called Aligarh, which is a Hindi movie based on the real life incident of Dr. Srinivas Ramachandra Shiras, who is a professor of J.A. Aligarh Muslim University, suspended from his job, right, because of his sexual orientation, and eventually died in mysterious circumstances. 2 national awards, and the veteran actors with us tonight. So Manoj Bajpai, first of all, to both of you, congratulations for what you're doing here. You know, you're spreading awareness. It is interesting that this film comes up at a time when this debate is also on. What would you say, Manoj and Hansal, what would you say to people like Rahul Easwar?
I just have a point.
What would you say to people?
Today is a very eventful day. You know, I'm seeing the majoritarian and the prude forces around us taking a very defensive stand. They are suddenly on the defensive. Their voices, I have heard them screaming themselves hoarse on debates. They are suddenly very quiet because the majority, the liberal voice, has smelt victory and is moving. The judiciary is taking our country towards where our government, our parliament should be taking our democracy. it is doing the job that the Parliament is so ineffectively not doing.
Why does Parliament not do, Manoj? It's a political question, but why in your view does Parliament not do?
Yes, I was told that there were, across the party line, there was complete division. Some of them wanted to decriminalize, and some of them wanted this 377 to remain when Mr. Tharoor tried to table the bill. And some of them who was in agreement with Mr. Tharoor chose not to show up. So there's a closet agreement which is kind of endangering the whole parliamentary business.
And I'll tell you why, Manoj, why there is that closet agreement. The reason for that is very simple.
Hypocrisy.
No, it's more than that, actually. It's not even that. It's because, unfortunately, politicians believe, and Rahul, don't take this personally, politicians believe that voices like Rahul Easwar are the majority view in this country.
And they're not.
And they're not. And the reason why Rahul Easwar is on the back foot tonight,
speak on that.
Gaurav Bhatia, you will speak, but let me speak tonight as well. This decision brings hope of taking India out of the regressive pool of countries. Politicians like you let me complete my sentence. No, Gaurav, let me complete my sentence. I think Manoj Bajpai is absolutely correct, and Hansal is even more correct.
Let the will of people decide.
Who determines
Who is going to determine the will of the people?
Supreme Court decides.
People.
If I'm the last person, I don't want everybody this.
Let people decide.
What people will
cannot decide on my fate and my sexuality, Rahul.
You cannot decide for Laxmi's life. You don't have the right. My constitution has given me the right. Baba Sahib Ambedkar has written, it happened with the Dalits and it is still happening with them. Then what you're talking about sexuality to be, section 377, when even sex is considered as a taboo. There are so many politicians who don't want the younger generation to have sex education. And then you talk about that, let the people decide.
Who are the people?
Then they will decide for you. Will you take it?
Let me in humble disagreement say.
Oh my,
let's hear him.
We are not homophobes. We believe in engagement. We believe in talking.
I believe in
but we would like the Parliament to take the decision rather than a judicial activism. Let not court legislate on this matter.
Judicial activism. Malvika Rajkotia is responding. Malvika Rajkotia is responding. Thank God for judicial activism. Thank God for judicial activism on this subject. Malvika is responding to Rahul Easwar on the point of judicial activism. Malvika is rebutting. Malvika, please.
Interpretation.
This is not judicial activism.
It is a question of interpreting a section towards inclusiveness, which is the cornerstone of the Constitution. It's not activism.
No.
It's not bending or stretching parameters. It is very much interpreting the law.
If I can point out what is happening in the oldest democracy of the world, the US,
as well as
to Rahul Easwar, please.
No, one sec. Rahul, before you come in on the whole issue of activism, I want you to just remember here, Gaurav Bhatia, I think it's an insult. No, I think it's an insult. It's an insult to the Supreme Court of this country today. The statement of Rahul Easwar of activism. Rahul Easwar, there is a process.
Yeah, I want
Gaurav, one sentence, please. Don't speak over me. Gaurav, listen here, please. First of all, we protest at the use of the word judicial activism. There has been a referral to a constitutional bench that comes on the back of a Supreme Court verdict that recriminalized homosexuality 781 days ago in December 2013, and the dismissal of a review petition 730 days ago in January 2014. The intent of the Supreme Court this time brings dramatic hope for equality for all people of this country, irrespective of what choices individuals make in their private space. And so this is not activism, this is historic. And Gaurav Bhatia, the only question I have for you is this: when will you, the politicians of this country, have the guts to do to the people of this country what they deserve? When will you have the guts to speak up? You send people and your police looking out for Azam Khan's buffaloes, but you can't. You send the police looking for Azam Khan's buffaloes, but you don't have the guts to speak up for millions of LGBTs in this country.
Let's discuss the issue with the seriousness it deserves, Arnab. Let's not trivialize the issue. I made it very clear that I think state does not have the authority to peep inside anyone's bedroom, and Lakshman Rekha should be drawn immediately. Supreme Court is the final arbiter, and I think...
What have the politicians done?
So why the politicians sit in the parliament and take the money from the taxpayers?
I would say this, Arnab.
Why the taxpayers' money should be given to the politicians?
Who stand with all the LGBT community. People like me, people like Shashi Tharoor and many others.
No, please.
We stand with the LGBT community.
See, today you
listen.
That it is their fundamental right to do whatever they want
in their
private space.
Mr. Bhatia, don't tell us what you believe in your private capacity. You're here as a politician. Does the Samajwadi Party believe that Section 377 should be struck down?
As a politician on your channel, I'm saying,
no, but
I think there are many politicians in India who stand with the LGBT community.
Is exactly what the High Court has said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So where is what section 377 says?
My request to Manoj Bajpai and the activists would be simply this.
Against the course of nature.
Yes.
So the question
that is why today the curative petition has been entertained.
I have a humble request to an eminent person like Manoj Bajpai.
No, today what Gaurav Bhatia is trying to do, I think Manoj Bajpai's question has not been answered. I go back to Hansal and Manoj Bajpai. Let's not complicate this. I have two questions here. As far as Section 377 is concerned, gay sex, LGBT sex is considered to be a crime that is worse than rape.
Yes.
That's point number one. Whether you like it or not, and don't try to confound the issue or confuse the issue by talking technicalities tonight. Till tonight, Parliament in one voice did not have the guts to speak out in the way that the Supreme Court did. Parliament let the country down. The Supreme Court upheld it. Because Mr. Bhatia, rapes are crimes. Murder, crimes against children and women, pedophilia, incidents of dacoity are crimes. How is it a crime if two consenting adults of the same sex want to be together? That's not a crime. You got your priorities wrong. And Hansal, let's go back to the moot issue tonight. You are absolutely right. Tonight, those voices like Rahul Easwar, M R Venkatesh, Gaurav Bhatia, even Father Stanley are looking lost and confused. And I am so happy for it. Hansal.
I don't know.
I am so happy for it tonight.
The problem
because they know that the silent majority is spoken
up. The problem with the establishment is
Hansal.
The problem with all these guys is they are busy changing their stands. They never take a stand. They never take a stand. All they want to do is change the stand. Now the popular opinion is all towards scrapping of Section 377. So everybody has joined the chorus. I mean, Parliament is joining the chorus rather than leading it. And that is a pity. I mean, we elect people who do not take a stand, do not take a clear stand. Today they have no clear stand on the issue. They are just following what the majority
Parliament
wants.
should have amended the Indian Penal Code, which is archaic and regressive. Parliament did not intervene. It's a major failure that the Parliament did not look at the law. They should have amended the Indian Penal Code.
Why didn't you do it? You can scrap it.
I have been saying it. I have been saying it earlier also.
You can scrap it in UP. Why not? Take the High Court.
I never heard you saying it.
Take a government decision, take a cabinet decision that we won't follow Section 377.
Because I understand the law.
Am I right?
And
very honest. You come from the Samajwadi Party. Why can't your party in Uttar Pradesh take a stand and say we are scrapping it in our state? We won't follow our state affairs.
I'm making a statement, and if you hear me out, I'm making a statement. Within the party fora, we will raise this opinion.
What were you doing
till now? And we will try to build a consensus. And you will see the stand of the Samajwadi Party. We will raise this issue within the party fora.
Now that time you would have taken this up.
So why are we arguing?
That is the only way forward.
This is. I'll tell you. I don't. Again. 1 second. I don't. Manoj. 1 second. Manoj must. Rahul Easwar. You see, what I don't accept is this argument of convenience.
Yeah.
Now imagine this, Manoj Bajpai. Today Gaurav Bhatia coming and saying all this is like, let's turn the clock back. On the 31st, गौरव सुन तो लो भाई, कभी आप लोग नेता लोग किसी की बात सुनते नहीं हो, कोई बोल रहा है आप उसके ऊपर बोलते रहते हो. आप 2 मिनट सुन तो जाइए, जरा संक्षिप्त तौर से बता दूंगा आपको. आप थोड़ा धैर्य रखिए. अरे धैर्य तो रखिए. ये समाजवादी पार्टी की रैली तो नहीं है. सुन लीजिए मेरी बात, सुन लीजिए मेरी.
मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. अरे भाई मैं आपको थोड़ा सा विधि का ज्ञान मुझे भी है, आपसे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा है.
अच्छा, थैंक यू वेरी मच. Now you know please just wait a while. You know the argument tonight that is being made by Gaurav Bhatia, and there is viewers, just you notice this. There is a sense of shock as far as Gaurav Bhatia, Rahul Easwar, Father Stanley, to an extent M R Venkatesh. MR has very conveniently changed his position right at the start, which is okay. But there is an absence of conviction. And Manoj,
I find it quite shocking that if somebody takes a stand in favor of the LGBT community,
we
you say that there is a shock that has prevailed. I think it is welcoming. It is welcoming.
Meet me later on.
Within the party fora, we can raise these views.
The issue is this.
I think it is a welcome change.
Manoj,
why don't you accept that?
No, what you find today.
Why so late?
No, one second. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. What you find today, and I simply will end this if Gaurav does not intervene here right now, is that you flow with the tide. So Manoj Bajpai, what is happening today is that, for example, if in January 1865 slavery is abolished in America, and immediately in February 1865 all the people who are holding slaves with them till then turn around and say, damn good thing, we actually always wanted this to happen. That is what is happening today. It's like the slave owners saying after slavery is abolished that we were never for slavery in the first place. But then why did you not introduce the change when you could? And even today, Manoj, this is a law that is not in place yet, neither is it out yet. The re-evaluation of the law is happening. And I can tell you, Manoj, from my own experience, that politicians turn their colors like chameleons, and they can flow with the tide, as is convenient to them. Today, it is absolutely a right observation of Hansal out there that people are changing their positions. Now, 1 second, Manoj will respond. Manoj, in this country, let Manoj speak, please. He's also a citizen of this country. He may not be a politician. Manoj, tell us, are you convinced with this public display of formal support that those who are asking for striking down 377 are receiving? You believe them instinctively, or are you still cynical? Yes.
No, I'm not cynical. मुझे ये लगता है कि जो भी आवाजें पहले से उठ रही हैं, मैं उस पर ज़्यादा भरोसा करना ज़्यादा उचित समझूंगा. I mean, those are the voices. Those voices are quite consistent. So I tend to believe the consistent voices because their struggle has been very truthful, and their fight has been very, very truthful. And if tomorrow 377 is struck down, I will be one of the million people who will be ecstatic about it, because it's a matter of human rights. It's a matter of it is questioning the basic fundamental of democracy. So there is no question about it. There can't be any debate about it. Our parliament has failed when it was given a duty to fulfill. But yes, the moment Supreme Court has given sent it to a 5-bench committee, now I say there is a hope and there is a positive sign coming out. So I am very hopeful.
Okay, now I have a 2-minute break. I'm going to give a 2-minute breather. But when I come out on the other side of the break, I will seek an apology on the Newshour tonight. And I will seek an apology from people who should identify themselves voluntarily. I'm not taking names, but there are some people on this panel, at least there is one person on this panel, who in the past has said that homosexuality is a terrible disease. I want an admission of guilt, followed by an apology. When I come out on the other side of the break, Rahul Easwar, I'll start with you. I'll see you on the other side. Should Rahul Easwar apologize for saying in the past that homosexuality is a disease? He's called it a crime, of course, but he said that homosexuality is also a disease. He's tried to quote from medical journals and things like that in the past tonight, and he's among those people who's trying to... You're doing a U-turn, that's all. You're not yet a politician, but you're doing a typical political U-turn. Yeah, you want to say something?
I'm very clear with words.
Yeah.
I am very clear with words. I have not called it a disease. I have called it a deviant behavior. And it is not my opinion. Dr. Tuck of the California University, Darren Giffen, Professor of Genetics, Professor Tim Spector of King's College, England, and even as late as October 2015, in American Society for Human Genetics, there was a debate on this. All we are saying is it is not a disease, it is not a disorder, it is a deviant behavior. It is a deviant behavior that needs to be discussed. It's a deviant behavior that needs to be debated.
Am I deviant, Rahul?
It's not my opinion. It's the opinion of the scientific community.
No, but WHO, you go and see WHO.
Please go to any medical
love you so much.
Nobody is saying Rahul, this is a disorder.
Kanna,
this is a deviant behavior.
Ayo Swami, listen to me. We love you. Go and see WHO. Go and see what we say Lancet Journal. Go and see Indian Psychiatric Society.
Yes.
What? These all things have changed. We are in modern India. And when we were in the olden India also, our culture was never a question of sexuality on this planet, on this motherland where I am born. Only because of the Britishers it came, they went back. And they have scrapped.
Okay, Malvika Rajkotia, on the argument of deviant behavior, Malvika Rajkotia also taking you on. It's better you just apologize and get on with it. Malvika.
Yes. Now, deviant behavior, etc., is your personal moral issue. I'm not concerned. It's appalling, but so be it. But let us take it that they are large enough in number, these so-called inverted quotes, commas, deviant. But they are a group, they are a minority, like any other minority, which could be religious and so on and so forth. Are you therefore against the position of including minorities within the social fold? Because the judgment is basically based on
I take strong objection of comparing religious minority with sexual minority. Please don't compare apples and pineapples.
Why
the word minority doesn't gel.
Come on.
Comparing apples and pineapples.
We respect homosexuals.
We are ready to debate. But we are our
minority is a minority. Minority, the constitution says minority. I don't want your view. I want the constitution's view. Minority, religious minority, sexual minority, Dalit minority, all are equal.
I am pointing out the view of scientific eminent people.
Exactly.
What eminent? They have been scrapped. They have been flushed out.
Okay, what's Ashok Row Kavi? Ashok Row Kavi.
The highest authority on this planet, the World Health Organization, has delisted homosexuality as a mental illness. So it's not a deviant behavior, it's like being left-handed. Okay, so please get away from that. No, please, at the age of 70, don't call me deviant. The second part is the Indian Psychiatric
nobody is saying this is a mental illness. Nobody is saying this is a disorder.
What?
Please listen to the position. This is a very
I'll tell you what is deviant.
Right of center position that is
I'll tell you what is deviant.
We don't believe in disengagement. We believe in engagement. A deviant behavior that needs debate to be accepted. We are for engaging. We are for sensitivity. We are ready to move forward. But let us discuss.
Yeah.
Mr. Bhatia, you have changed the side. Mr. Bhatia,
the Indian Psychiatric Association has given a statement. It is not deviant. It is just a sexual orientation.
I just want to point out, deviant behavior does not constitute an offense. And the right to live with dignity and the right to privacy.
I agree.
You start with an assumption that it's deviant behavior. Gaurav, you're starting with an assumption that it's deviant behavior. I'll tell you what's deviant behavior. Deviant behavior, Gaurav Bhatia, deviant behavior is when Mulayam Singh Yadav says, in the context of rapists, he says boys will be boys. That is deviant behavior. Sati is deviant behavior. Child marriage is deviant behavior. You have the guts to take on what is deviant behavior.
With some seriousness.
I am dealing with this with absolute seriousness.
The made a statement in regard to offences relating to juvenile.
Sir, tonight I'm sorry to say, neither on ethics, neither Father Stanley. Gaurav, listen here.
Don't be so careless and callous.
Gaurav, remember one thing, in the Mahabharata, अरे भाई, listen, no, you are not the custodian. आप भारतीयता के प्रतीक बन गए. आपको किसने बना दिया? भारतीयता की प्रतीक आपको महाभारत पढ़िए, उसमें शिखंडी के स्टोरी के बारे में पढ़िए. शिखंडी स्टोरी.
क्या भारतीयता के प्रतीक केवल आप है? आपसे ज्यादा LGBT कम्युनिटी के साथ मैं खड़ा रहूंगा. अगर LGBT कम्युनिटी को
that's all. I'm seeing a lot. Okay, now अरे भाई, calm down. Don't get worked up on this. ठीक है. आप एक काम कीजिए, ऑल पार्टी रेजोल्यूशन कीजिए पार्लियामेंट में.
Because I'll be the
no, there should be.
Stand for the constitution.
Hansal Mehta wants to come in. Before that, I have a simple point here. I don't trust politicians. Politicians need to go through a litmus test. Hansal, I'm going to you. My view is that the litmus test politicians need to go through, all party resolution,
yes,
changing the law, and not shooting off the shoulders of the Supreme Court of this country. Hansal.
No, I want to bring in another point. These guys take public stands that go with popular opinion. But for the last 5 days, the film that we have made, Aligarh, has been given its benign trailer has been given an A certificate by these very people, saying that it is not suitable for viewing of people of all ages. Ashok Row Kavi has written an eloquent article about it, but it has fallen on deaf ears. The chairman of the CBFC appointed by our government says homosexuality is unconstitutional. It is not suitable for viewing by children.
By family.
And so there is, the hidden agenda is still to suppress any such thoughts. It is right now they are just towing the line. There will be a change in the law, but I don't trust these people to bring about a genuine attitudinal change towards homosexuality.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And which is why I say there is a chance here, because the courts are pushing it. Let the politicians of this country also take a stance, and not the kind of
Arnab, I want to ask you, Arnab, why does the screen say that I am for Section 377 when I am saying that it is violative of Article 21?
I'll tell you why. Will you listen to me? Will you listen to me? Will you listen to me? I'll tell you why if you have the patience to listen.
Yes.
Okay? Because it's all right for you to come and say, I really believe that Section 377 is bad. What were you doing till today in Parliament? Tell me a position, a collective position that the political class of this country took against Article 377. You can't say individual capacity, private members bill. I don't take private members bill. Private members bill of any Tharoor or anyone does not make any sense, because that is not legislation.
Mr. And Samajwadi Party will make the position clear.
So we want to build the pressure. We want to build the pressure.
Members of Samajwadi were there in the Parliament to support Shashi Tharoor.
But at least,
how many members were there?
But at least don't misquote us.
Okay.
From misquoting us on the screen.
Okay.
When I am taking a stand that Section 377 is violative of Article 21, and the Supreme Court has to decide this.
Gaurav, I'll say sometimes we need to take a cue from other countries around us. Manoj Bajpai, it's not a complicated issue. Don't make it complicated.
Rahul,
I'll tell you. Watch it. Rahul Easwar needs to understand a couple of things. Rahul Easwar, first of all, I've heard you enough now. Now you hear me. Rahul Easwar, every time you say this is Hindu tradition, that is Hindu tradition. What is Hindu tradition? Who are you? You know more about Hinduism than anybody else. Nepal is believed to be a predominantly Hindu country as well. And the Nepal Supreme Court in 2007 scrapped laws that made homosexuality illegal. Are all Nepalis not Hindus now? That was 9 years ago. December 21st, 2007. Are Nepalis not Hindus? 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 Are Ne What are you talking about? Hindu religion, Christian religion, Muslim religion. This is not written down in religion. This is the expression of your mindset. Manoj Bajpai, last word to you tonight. Manoj Bajpai, last word to you tonight. I want to close with you tonight. Now, I don't know, Manoj, but I don't want this country and the future generations of this country to belong to a club of countries here. And I'm going to give the list of the countries where, you have the kind of laws. You have exactly the kind of laws that we were hoping to continue in India. We don't want to be bracketed with Papua New Guinea. We don't want to be equated with Iraq. But that's exactly what the condition has been here so far. So Manoj Bajpai, I give you the last word here tonight. You played the role of Professor Siras of AMU, and you know how he was suspended from his job for his sexual orientation and what he suffered from. People say, and they've been coming on the show, Manoj, over the last few days saying, you're making too big a deal of it. Nobody actually faces any harassment because of Article 377.
No, that is rubbish.
They live in another...
Professor Siras is the prime example.
Yeah.
And his life and his struggle and his death have, influenced or impacted Hansal Mehta so much that he chose to make a film on it. And that too in the time when there is 377.
No, and okay. I must make a correction. After Section 377, after 2013, December 2013, apparently there have been over 578 arrests under Section 377 of the IPC.
About 600.
So, this whole talk of not being any kind of persecution based on this draconian act.
There are more. False. Hansal, there are more. Hansal, let me share. Just close. I feel the facts are underreported. But in 2014 alone, there were 750 criminal cases slapped against individuals, and 600 people were arrested because of their sexual orientation using Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. That was only 1 year of 2014, and I believe the numbers are underreported.
Arnab,
today is a big day of change. Today is a big day. Sir, today is a big day for change. The British, I'll close with just one thing. The British brought in Section 377 in 1860. The British had the sense to make homosexuality legal in 1967 in England and Wales. We, more than 50 years after, the British got rid of a law that they introduced in India 156 years back. We are, for some strange reason, holding on to it. Give up. Let the politicians pass an all-party resolution on it. The courts have shown the way. I thank you all for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.